Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Ultimate Nightmares run, where we take the characters that are hardest to beat in the new Nightmare mode, as chosen by you, and try to win with them. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Glutton, which I think is very likely one of the very hardest characters in Nightmare mode. This character is deceptively extremely difficult because these economy penalties don't look like much on the surface, but 25% extra to both of your ways to gain stats normally is an incredibly severe penalty that means we're going to be behind on our income and our stats basically through the entire game. There's a couple ways to play the Glutton in general. You can use pruners to try to lean into the consumable explosion aspect of the character. You can use loots to scale off of luck, because you start with a lot of extra luck. You can also just use shredders and gain a little bit of extra explosion damage, try to roll into rocket launchers, and then play the character as basically a normal gun build, similar to how the Artificer plays out. I'm going to start with the pruner build, but if that doesn't work, I might switch to the other ones. I do think that this is one of the characters I think is most likely going to take multiple attempts for me, because I think this is in general one of the hardest characters in the game. It is nice to get that tree kill. It means that we get an extra point of explosion damage. So we did manage to get that. We got our 3 points there. So on the Glutton, I am going to roll here. I'm looking for melee damage. I'm looking for harvesting because that can help offset our economy penalties. And melee damage, of course, scales our pruners. It also scales our explosions. But I'll also just take 5 luck here. We don't want to roll too much because we really need to upgrade our pruners. Super important to get these upgraded. I'm going to go ahead and just ban both of these items. We're not very interested in spending a bunch of money on that type of thing. We'll buy a pruner here. I'll lock a lumberjack shirt. This is a great item for us. Defective steroids is pretty good. It gives us melee damage and HP, which we want both of. One thing I should consider is when you're using a support weapon, sometimes it can be correct to buy support weapons that aren't the one that you're specifically going for, because you do get the extra harvesting. I'm going to roll past this loot here. Maybe I would take a hand if a hand showed up. I think I'm just going to ban Weird Ghost. It's hard to make use of it, and because this character needs to be at full health in order to gain the extra explosion damage, it can end up costing you stats. Alright, so unfortunately we have only found 2 pruners, so maybe I should have taken one of the other support items, but we're going to roll until we can lock another pruner here. Obviously, we gave up 5 harvesting by not buying the loot or the taser that we had the opportunity to, so decreased my income there. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt us later on. So I messed up there. I wanted to stay at full health and gain the extra explosion damage. It's okay to give up a couple points here and there. It's more important to clear the waves. This isn't like the farmer where the only thing that matters is staying at maximum HP. But it is nice to get the extra stats. We'll take the 2 melee damage here, buy a pruner, and then roll, buy another one, that's great. And then roll again, and I'm going to keep rolling until we can hopefully lock another one. We obviously want to max out our support weapon set for the extra harvesting. We also want as many pruners as possible so that we can actually start triggering the explosions. And so that we can stack up our explosive damage, although because I've been taking hits in these waves, that's been harder to manage. Kind of poor movement by me so far in this run. Hopefully I can tighten it up as we go. I did get those enemy kills at the end there, so that's definitely not bad. We'll just take the level 2 upgrade, and then we'll buy a pruner. And I'm going to take the Lost Duck. Because my movement in the last couple waves wasn't great, we've only ended up with 5 pruners, but that's also because this character's items are so much more expensive. And a roll here, you really want to lock items on the Glutton, because with the increased item prices, items go up in price more every wave, because the percentage. So locking items correspondingly saves you more money by locking in the lower price from an earlier wave, which will increase more every wave. I'm gonna ban the beanie here, and then I will spend 5 to reroll again to try to lock another pruner. Really important to level those up. Since I haven't found a 6th, I will buy any support weapon that I see, just to actually fill out my weapon set. We obviously want 6 weapons, and harvesting is better the earlier you get it, of course, so we want to make sure we actually have that going. I'm going to run down here towards where these consumables are, so I can hit a bunch of them at once and kill the lamprey that way. And then I did get 1 curse alien kill. I can probably go for another one, yeah. I figured because it was standing on top of a bunch of explosives, I could probably get it. I'm going to take 8 harvesting here. 10 luck is also an option, but I think the harvesting is going to be pretty nice to get going early, and then I'll roll, and here I'll take 10 luck. Okay, we did find a pruner, and we'll buy baby squid since it gains value over time, and then I'm going to roll and lock another pruner. Baby elephant, I've found that this item is really bad on nightmare mode, so I'm just going to go ahead and ban it here, even though we have 70 luck. It just has never worked out for me in terms of actually doing enough damage. This is a character where I think it would be at its best, but at a certain point, when you buy an item and it's garbage every time, you have to just stop buying it. So I definitely need some more melee damage. We're not killing the healers quickly because some are spawning cursed, and that's allowing the enemies to recover their hit points. I did stack up a bunch of fruits there and then pull all the enemies on top of it, so that helped us kill stuff a little faster. We'll take the duct tape here, and then I'll take 10 more harvesting, and now I desperately need more melee damage, so I'm glad I have this goat skull locked. I'm going to buy all of these items, lock the pruner, and then re-roll. We're very, very happy to pick up a weird food. That's incredibly important for your healing setup when you're using gardens, is to have extra consumable healing. I'm kind of ignoring the Firemane anemones. It's hard to kill them because they stay spaced out from your character so much. And it's just difficult to get an explosion that actually contacts them, at least before we have any explosion size. You use the heal there to run into the middle of that group of enemies, and then I can get the explosion to hit them all at once. The loot alien, unfortunately, I think is going to get away here because it was hard for me to leave that area where we just had all our gardens stacked up, so while I would have loved to get it, we just weren't able to. Losing 5 luck is a real penalty. Of course, we want as many consumable drops for this character as possible, but I do want more move speed, so I'm going to take that there. Then I'm going to roll here and take 4 melee damage. The attack speed is also really important for this character, but I think we need the melee damage more because our explosions are just not doing enough to actually kill anything. Sadly, I'm shy of being able to buy the cauldron here, which I want, and then I could ban Recycling Machine and get a reroll. But we'll reroll anyways. Take the pruner, ban the lens, roll one more time. Fruit basket, maybe the best item that we could find for this character, of course, when you are reliant on consumable drops. Extra consumable drops are very impactful. I will say I think that this is going to be easier to play on the Abyss than it would be on Crash Zone, because one of the major weaknesses of this character is the summoners. Because they kind of provide an extra layer of defense to the summons. You know, you'll kill the summoner and then the summons pop out later. It can be hard for a character like this to kill them because every time we do damage, we lose that source of damage by picking up the fruit that was gonna damage stuff. So I do think that the Abyss is probably a little easier. All right, we're very happy to get a Cursed Energy Bracelet. On the Abyss, Curse is always high value, and Crit Chance is actually very good for this character. Your explosions don't say it, but they do have 1.5x crit damage multiplier. And since we intend to get their base damage up to like 5 or 600, that 1.5x is still a huge amount of additional average damage. Treasure map on a character with really high luck, of course, is great. I don't think I can afford to take 10 more harvesting. I think that would just be too greedy here. So I'm going to reroll, and I have positive move speed. I think I'll take the 10 luck, and then we'll take 6 melee damage, which is exactly what we needed. Roll here, and we'll buy a pruner. Injection, percent damage is okay for this character because it does increase the damage of our pruners, but it's not that important for the damage of our explosions. Percent damage is additive with explosive damage. The plus 7% would basically just get added on to make plus 81% with the explosion damage here. So since we're going to have a ton of this, percent damage isn't that important except for our actual weapon attacks. I think I'm going to ban the injection for that reason. My HP is also really low. Wheat is 10 harvesting and 4 melee damage. I guess that's worth it. It's so expensive, but we really need those stats. Spyglass is typically pretty bad for this character because it's so expensive to buy. And rerolls cost the same, so you're spending more for the same discount. So we're going to avoid it. Maybe that last reroll was too many. I spent 11 rolling 2 open slots. I think it was okay because locking items is so important to this character, but that was still an expensive one. Now, having Fruit Basket, if we could have a garden, that would be amazing. So here you can see the thing I was talking about where summoners are a challenge for this character. It's not as bad on the Abyss because the blobfish just aren't as overwhelming in numbers as the droolers, but it is still pretty dangerous. So I'm going to kill the blobfish and then step on all of those consumables to explode everything at once as it comes out. Alien Tongue I'll take. That'll help us pick up consumables more easily. I need armor. I also need attack speed. I need melee damage. I need HP. Like, our defensive stats are horrible right now. I think I'm going to take the 15 attack speed. I would love to roll for armor there, but I just don't think we can afford to do that. And then here, Penguin is amazing. We're going to be picking up consumables at full health as much as possible. So Penguin is one of the best items for us, but I'm going to buy the wheat first because it comes with harvesting. We'll definitely buy Crown, even though it's more expensive here. We have 77 harvesting already. Do I think I'm going to have enough to buy 3 items and then ban the Ice Cube? I probably will, but I don't think it's worth risking, because locking the Ice Cube and then not getting to ban it would be such a disaster. Also, running straight into that enemy and taking half my health in damage immediately was almost a disaster as well. Alright, so I need to pull the vampire squid on top of some explosives. Oh, that one just died to my actual attacks. That's funny. And then the hatcher we want to pull on top of explosives and get it as well. Explosion size, of course, is the stat that we're looking for the most here. And consumable healing. Oh, no. Well, the cursed squid spawned right next to me. That was going pretty well. Definitely some mistakes that I made, but just having a cursed squid spawn on top of me was pretty brutal. I'm going to try this again with pruners. If this doesn't work, then we'll do something else. Yeah, 17 incoming damage there. Of course, as the glutton, it's really hard not to have really poor defensive stats because your levels and economy are so bad, and you have so many other stats you need to buy. I guess I'll just take an armor here. I could roll for other stuff, but the armor is fine. I'm going to ban both of these right away, and then re-roll. Ban both of these right away, and re-roll. Hedgehog is 2 melee damage. I guess I'll leave these in the pool. Do I want to buy the hiking pole? I can roll one more time and still be able to afford a support weapon. And so now I have the choice of buying the sickle or rolling and hoping for a pruner. I think I'm just going to buy the sickle just to guarantee that I have 10 harvesting this wave. And then I'm going to roll, and then we'll ban the glasses. Jelly, I'm also just going to ban. I don't intend to have multiple weapons for too long. This is just for the extra harvesting early. Sickle, at least, is nice because unlike most other support weapons, it's only a support weapon, so it doesn't dilute the pool too much. We're more likely to see more sickles now, which we don't really want to, but it at least doesn't add, like, unarmed weapons in from hand or something like that. Alright, 8 harvesting, that's really good. We'll take this pruner. I think I am just going to buy the sickle here. It costs 25. We get up to 29 harvesting, which is pretty nice. We've used a bunch of our bans, and I wish I had one more material so I could re-roll again, but that's part of why I bought the sickle, was I was only going to be able to re-roll once. There were no support weapons in that shop, so we would just not have been able to buy another support weapon. This does mean that I am delaying my access to pruners for a really long time, because I spent money on non-pruner weapons, but we should hopefully get at least some of that money back. And yeah, we made 100 this wave. Last time we only made 70 on wave 3, so you can see the difference already. 4 melee damage is an incredible gift there as well. Increases the damage of my weapons and then also of my explosions. And then I'm going to take 2 regen rather than reroll a bunch. I'll buy pruner and tree. I'm not going to upgrade these weapons. I really want only pruners if possible. And then we'll reroll. And re-roll again. And we'll lock a propeller hat. Here's the downside of having the sickles, is that they're going to show up more often. But now we can buy a pruner, so I'll just combine the sickles and buy this pruner here. Do I roll again for 6 with a guaranteed weapon in the shop? I think I do. It's an expensive re-roll, but again, locking items is just better for this character. I'm so sad about the last run, because I think we were really on track. I just walked into one too many attacks that wave. I do think we still want to build Curse. This is the Abyss, so... And because we have explosive weapons, it's kind of hard not to build Curse, so we might as well build a lot of it. Lots of explosive damage there is nice. We'll take more melee damage as well. And then I think I'm just going to take a +4 melee. I could roll for HP or defensive stat, but this way we can kill stuff a little more easily. Buy these items and re-roll. And we'll take the goat skull as well and re-roll. Okay, and we can lock a pruner, and that way I'll be able to sell this last sickle. Banner. Attack speed is really valuable. Range is okay. Knockback on pruners is actually not bad, so losing all of it is kind of painful. I think Banner might just be too expensive for this run. So, do I pass on it? I mean, losing out on potential attack speed is brutal, but you do have to be a little more choosy with what items you buy for this character, since they're all more expensive. So I think we're passing on the Banner there. Alright, so one thing we definitely have going for us is our damage output is much better at this point in the run than it was last time. So I'm much more easily able to clear this wave with the healers and stay at full health because there's fewer things attacking me. Got that Curse Alien kill, blowing up a few more things. So that definitely went well. I'm going to take the move speed here. I want to be able to move between my gardens more easily. Then we'll recycle the sickle, buy our last pruner, and re-roll. And I'll definitely take a Lost Duck, increasing my luck, so important. And we'll roll again, and we'll buy a pruner. Baby Elephant. I could still try the Baby Elephant, but assuming that this run goes well, the way that we win this run is by just blowing everything up instantly. So the little bits of damage from Baby Elephant just shouldn't be that relevant in this run. So I think this is an irrelevant elephant. I'm gonna roll here for 9 and see if I can lock anything else good. I will lock a beanie, because that way I don't have to spend anything more on move speed for the rest of the run. Getting up to plus 10 just helps a lot. No consumable heal so far, and that is something that we desperately need. So important to try to stay alive when you're playing a garden run. And a lot of the way that this character needs to play out is you need to run directly at the enemies and get a consumable drop with your high luck, and then use that to clear everything else that's around you, and then also to heal back up. So not having the consumable healing to support that strategy makes it a lot harder. We did get 3 items this wave, though. That's great. We got plant. I'll take the compass, then I can probably just not buy the beanie. Little muscly dude is incredible. We really needed more HP, and obviously the melee damage is great. And then a plus 3 armor level up. Amazing. I'm going to roll here, and I do want more harvesting, but I think I just want the melee damage more. I'm going to buy the pruner, I think. Because I have 11 speed, I'm not going to buy the beanie here. Crystal, on most characters, I would almost always buy, but on this character, it's so expensive. I think we just need to roll for our core stats. Do I want a cursed loot? It is a cursed weapon, which is pretty powerful. It means fewer gardens, but potentially more cursed items. And it does scale off of our luck, so it's hitting for 32 compared to 26 on our level 2 pruners. And it could help debuff the bosses, potentially. Enemies taking 13% more damage, or up to 40% more, is a really big deal. It'll help our explosions clear them much faster. It's a real cost, but I think I will take the cursed loot here, just because cursed items are so good. And then we're definitely buying these things. We'll take the scarf as well. Increased enemy move speed is pretty dangerous. But I think for wave 9, we'll be able to, or wave 8, we'll be able to get away with it, and regen and melee damage are all super important. And I'm going to roll once here, looking for upgrades to our weapons, and we'll go into the next wave. It does have a slower swing speed, the loot. It just takes longer for it to actually launch the attack. So that can be kind of awkward. So we're using our explosions there, of course, to clear the more dangerous enemies. I'm going to try to get the loot alien on top of some explosions. Unfortunately, I used all of those fruits while it was not in the area. Then I had to run over and use a bunch more of them. So I don't think we're getting it. Oh, no. Nice. I was thinking it had healed up because this is a healer wave, but it actually hadn't. I'll take the campfire. Snowball doesn't do anything. We don't use elemental damage. We'll definitely take a gentle alien. I could take 2 armor or 12% damage, which will help my weapon damage quite a bit, so I'm going to take that. And then I'll buy pruner, we'll buy scarf, lock treasure map, and roll. I'm buying the scarf early because I think it's pretty dangerous, wave 9. Riposte, the plus 2 melee damage is relevant, but this is 97 materials for 2 melee damage. I just don't think that's worth it. And don't really want any of these things. I will re-roll for 11 here, and then we can lock a pruner. Baby Gecko is also pretty helpful. If we get Cute Monkey, that's an item that can help us stay at full health, so the Baby Gecko can really help with that. Alright, this is a scarf wave, so enemies are faster. That means I really need to camp near explosives so that we can take down especially those anglerfish as they come after me. Because if those guys get moving too quickly, then you can be in a lot of trouble. I probably will just not break the blobfish, if possible, this wave, because I don't want to deal with the extra speed lampreys, but since I did, I need to pull them on top of multiple explosives at once, which, fortunately, I had been standing near, because, again, you really have to think about your pathing on this character. You need to be in position to use your explosives to the best effect. I wasn't there, and that actually cost me the tree kill, because I didn't kill both lampreys as they spawned. I'm going to re-roll this. I'm looking for armor, and we'll take 3 armor, and then we'll buy a bunch of upgrades. We can ban the pencil, and then get a free re-roll here. Doc Moth is kind of interesting. You can try to stay at full health that way on this character. It does double my 11 regeneration, which is not bad. But I don't really want to stay in the Doc Moth aura, so I think I'm going to roll here, and then we'll roll again. I'll take a Loot Worm, and Penguin is going to be great. I do think we can't really afford on this character. I mean, how important is upgrading our pruners at this point? It means I would have a lot fewer spawns from gardens if I buy the knot here. On the other hand, 15 HP is so powerful. I think this is a spot where I buy knot. And this character is really hard. So while normally I don't buy knot most of the time because I don't find the item fun, if you want to win a run, you should almost always buy this item when you see it. Do I buy the weird ghost here? No, because then I'm giving up explosive damage. So this wave, again, it's the vampire squid wave. We have a little bit more health than we did last time. So hopefully I can clear those without just getting popped immediately and dying. And we're going to use, basically bait it on top of me and then use an explosion, get a big group of enemies and then use an explosion, and so on. Using 2 explosions there was pretty bad. It cost me a lot of potential damage output. And so now I don't have one ready for this vampire squid, so I have to run away. But we can bait all the enemies on top of ourselves, and then we'll back off this way, and then we should be able to run through the middle and explode a bunch of stuff. So pretty good wave there. We'll take the little muscly dude. That's great. Crit chance, again, does work on this character. You have 1.5x critical damage. Now, I have reduced my crit chance by 5, but I think it is still worth picking up. We don't have a weapon upgrade, so I could roll to try to find a weapon upgrade before buying the knot, but I'm just going to buy it here. And then we'll take Barnacle, and I'll buy Treasure Map and Boxing Glove as well. One thing, too, is that upgrading our weapons basically gives us more consumable drops, which is very important. But we can find Fruit Basket, we can find Gardens, we can find Structure Attack Speed. There's lots of ways that we can effectively upgrade our weapons without having to actually upgrade them. And because this character's items are more expensive, it's hard to upgrade your weapons anyways. So just guaranteeing that we spend our money on other stuff, I think, is totally reasonable. As always, making your character stronger immediately is very, very important. I did almost die there because I didn't run the right direction. I'll take the whetstone here, and we'll take the scar. That's all great. I'm going to take 8 melee damage over 20% attack speed to make sure that my explosions are keeping up. And then 13 harvesting would be pretty nice. But I think I'm just going to reroll. Yeah, I'm just going to take the 13 attack speed here just to make sure that we are hitting stuff. And especially since I have some lifesteal now, it's pretty good. Jerky is really solid for this character. It does mean that we're going to be building a little less explosive damage for free. But we're going to be full health much more often. And of course, on a garden build, you want as much consumable heal as you can get. Lucky Charm will definitely take, and Coffee will definitely take. I think I'm going to buy the Jerky and the Coffee. This way I can reroll, and I can't buy a weapon or anything. For 19, I'm going to reroll one more time, and I will take an Ugly Tooth that can slow the elite down, giving me more time to put the loot debuff on it, and giving me more time to trigger explosions. So here, all our gardens spawned in the middle, so we're basically just hanging out around them. Another advantage of Jerky is I can pick up an explosive at full health, and we still get HP value out of it. So it makes it much easier to use them proactively to clear the wave, because it no longer gives up healing value. It does mean I'm getting overall fewer points of explosive damage, like we missed out on a couple there, but that's totally okay. It's a reasonable trade. I'm going to recycle the Weird Ghost here. We'll take the Defective Steroids, and we'll take 2 armor. Yes, we didn't get any value from Barnacle that wave by taking the level 2 armor, but we still just want more armor. And here I'm going to buy... Do I want the Ugly Tooth or the Mastery? I can't buy both, right? That would be... yeah, we're just short. That's 243. I think. Never do math while you're recording yourself. I think I'm going to buy both of these, because although the 6 melee damage is good, I think that Ugly Tooth is pretty important for fighting the elite here. And then I will buy the Cursed Landmines just because it's cursed, and because we are building explosive damage, so even though this item kind of sucks, we can still get some value out of it, maybe. Alright, definitely not the elite that we wanted to face. This one charges around, so it's going to be really hard to hit it with explosions. I'm going to slow it down, and then we'll probably just focus on survival this wave as well. The Enhanced Hatcher is pretty scary also, so I needed to kill that. I need to kill that egg before it spawns. We did also get a Cursed Enhanced Slasher, which have a lot of health, but we did kill it. If this was a different elite, one that followed us a little more sedately around, I think we could have killed it. Our damage is actually really good against it. Unfortunately, we kind of got unlucky with what elite we rolled. We did get a 900 damage critical on it, so actually I did get it, thanks to a couple criticals, and because it stacked on top of our gardens right at the end there. So that was really nice. We'll take the Bean Teacher. Also, that elite kill, courtesy of Not, by the way. Just very, useful to mention that, I think. We would not have had the health or the damage on our weapons to kill that elite without the Not, and we'd have had to be much more scared. 3% crit chance is pretty good. Is it worth 43? I think so. On the Glutton, you just kind of have to take anything you can get, recycle that. And then Kraken's Eye, amazing. This is incredible. If I had known this was going to show up, then maybe I don't take the Knot, because it's mostly for the 15 max HP, but this is certainly one of the best items we could find. It works with everything our character is trying to do. I'm going to re-roll here, and we're looking for +4 armor again. And I'll re-roll here, and we'll take 4 armor. Buy the Mastery, and then we'll roll. Dangerous Bunny, similar to Spyglass, is a lot worse on this character, so we don't really want it. We're going to re-roll here. Fruit Basket, incredible. I will take that and the Whistle, and then we'll lock Metal. I will want to rebuild my crit chance, but this, of course, is, again, one of the best items we could find. So I don't know if Pruner is the easiest way to win with this character. Having played it a bit, this is certainly not the easiest run in the world. I mean, I died, which doesn't happen that often. So it might be simpler to do it with Shredder or something like that, but I do think that this run can work, even if I lose this run, this specific run. I think we've already demonstrated that you can win with this build, because we're in okay shape right now. We killed the first elite, which I was really not expecting to do. So now it's just up to me to execute. Now, of course, the pufferfish explosions are very dangerous. I also let a mini-boss spawn, so I wasn't really able to get much more that wave. Metal is great. Improved tools, incredible. This gives us so many, and Cute Monkey as well. That's going to give us so many more consumable spawns. I could take 2 armor here. I could take 4 regen. I could reroll. I think I'm just going to take the 4 regeneration. Then this I'm going to reroll. And I'm going to take 13% attack speed, because it goes with our improved tools. Now, I can't buy the pruner, because we have not. But we'll take the metal, and I'll take metal detector. It does cost me 6% damage, but most of my damage is explosions, which we have massive amounts of explosion damage. And any increased luck is so important to this character. I'll buy the scarf here. I think we can survive wave 15 even with increased enemy move speed, and then we will roll and go to wave 14. I'm feeling a lot more confident at this point because I have significantly higher base HP, and that just matters a lot. And we have 15 armor as well, so I think we're in much better shape. Still would love to get some explosion size. That's one of the things that we could use the most. And so here what we're doing is we're playing on the outside edge of all of these fruits, because I don't want to pick them all up at once. I want to make sure that I'm clearing a bunch of enemies with every one that I pick up. And then nearer the end of the wave, I should be able to run through the middle here, and we can pick up a bunch at once and just, you know, get a bunch of enemy kills here. And then we're also at full health, so we pick up some more explosion damage. 750 materials, that wave is great. We'll take the padding, take the helmet, and I'll re-roll. I'll take 16 HP. Oh, wow, okay. 20 luck is amazing, but you can't pass 4 armor in this game. That just doesn't work. We'll buy the scarf and the lost duck. Again, I wish I could upgrade my weapons still, but Knot has been amazing in this run, so I certainly wouldn't trade the ability to buy that weapon for, you know, we just won like 5 waves because of the Knot. And it's clear that we don't need more power at this point. We needed more power then. So very important to recognize when you need to make your character strong and play around that. I'll buy Fishhook, and then I will lock Fruit Basket and Campfire. Being able to curse either of those would be pretty nice. And because we have Fishhook, I'm going to reroll, and I'll lock a Metal Plate as well. Oops. Taking that hit and then immediately picking up all of my consumables was pretty bad. Trying to get this enhanced hatcher, so I'm going to try to pull it over onto where we have a bunch of fruits and then kill them. And then over here, again, we're popping the blobfish on top of consumables, and then we'll step in onto them to clear a bunch at once. Alright, I did let some flashers spawn, so that was pretty sloppy, letting a bunch of those live. And that means that my stockpile of explosions has gotten a little bit low. So I need to be kind of careful here, but because we have jerky, we have good healing, we were able to just pick off everything there anyways. Black Flag, at this point I don't really need it, but I think it is still worth taking. Having more enemies on the field is nice, just because that's going to be more consumable drops, and similar to the Lucky, you just want to chain damage between enemies, so the more there are, the more likely you are to drop a fruit, and then the more likely that is to be able to be an explosion to clear more of them. 4 armor or 8 melee damage, both really powerful here, but when in doubt in this game, just take armor. Alright, I'm going to buy those 2 things, and I'm not buying the campfire because it didn't get cursed. I will buy duct tape, and I'll re-roll, and we'll take a cursed baby gecko for sure. Tardigrade, I might buy if it got cursed, but I don't think it's worth locking here. And then I will lock the scarf. No, because that would be going into an elite wave. So although the stats are really good, and it would be nice to get it cursed and reduce the bonus speed that the enemies get, I don't think I can buy it anyways. So unfortunately, no fishhook value that shop. That was just a really weak shop for us. We got basically offered no items that we really cared about. Letting that mini-boss spawn was pretty bad as well. Need to be kind of careful there. Alright, so I'm taking a lot of damage. I need to run around to the side here so I can actually pick up some consumables. And then once I'm back in the center where we have our healing and our damage sources, things are a little better. The downside of the loot pickup is that 5 is a lot less than 6 in terms of gardens. It just means that much less of the map is available to us as a safe place to be, because if our gardens spawn far apart, we are just much less likely to have a bunch of fruits stockpiled up. But we survive that wave. I'm just going to take 4 lifesteal here just to try to stay at high health at all times. Okay, we got some cursed items. Pearl is plus 10% damage, but let's take the small fish and the poisonous tonic and the baby gecko. I will lock the pearl because it does increase the damage of our weapons, which isn't bad. I'll definitely lock penguin. Baby squid is maybe too late. With this character's... we do have a lot of XP gain, right? We have 45. But with this character's increased or reduced XP gain, we are leveling a little faster than a normal character would, so I probably get like 3 regen out of the baby squid by the end of the run, but that's not enough to spend 200 on, I don't think, so we'll just lock those 2. Alright, so here I'm just pulling the elite on top of the gardens, making sure to debuff it with the loot. The loot is definitely helpful for this, for these fights, for the elite fights. We did get kind of an awkward garden spawn where it's going to be hard to kill the elite because our fruits are not in range to explode it. But I should be able to damage it and then hopefully just drop enough consumables from other enemies that we can kill the elite anyways. Trying to clear that, but I did mess up and let an enhanced mini-boss spawn. Fortunately, we had enough damage that I could get on top of them, or get them on top of each other, and then blow them all up, and then we can pull those lampreys there. And again, they spawn, and we pick up the consumables, though the round had ended by that point. Greek Fire, we don't want. Hunting Trophy, I do have 13% crit chance, so do I make 54 materials back? I probably do. I'm not sure about that one. 16 dodge, I could maybe start building dodge at this point. If I get one more good dodge upgrade, then we benefit from that a lot. No cursed items, but we're still going to take both of those. And then we'll roll here, and then we'll roll because we can't buy the weapons. Octopus is great. It does cost me crit chance, but these stats are obviously amazing. And then I'm going to lock these other items because we have fish hooks, so I'd buy them if they got cursed. So I'm very happy with the loot pickup in this run. Obviously, it has some downsides, but it made killing the elites much easier. It made killing a few enemies with our actual weapon attacks significantly easier as well. Because the debuff, I mean, plus 40% damage to an enemy, that kills things fast. even though our weapon attacks are low impact normally. Okay, I need to pick up at least a few consumables here and use our jerky healing to stay alive. Try to get some explosions on the mini-bosses. That one was on top of 2 fruits, but because it was cursed, it survived. But we did get it at the end there, so that's pretty nice. Take the head injury and lantern. Sure, we'll definitely take that. I'll take another fish hook, and yeah, I do want as much luck as I can get, so I'll take the metal detector as well. I'm going to roll here. I'm looking for a level 3 or higher upgrade. I think it is worth rolling one more time, and then I found nothing, so I kind of have to roll again. Well, that was a brutal shop for us. I think I need the melee damage more than 10% damage, so we're just taking 2 melee damage there. I don't think I can take the hourglass here. Our healing is good, but that was a tough wave. Wave 18. And in this run, I really just want to win, so I'm going to pass on the hourglass. I know that will disappoint many people, and it disappoints me too that sometimes you have to do that, but I do want to just win the run here. Sad Tomato is still good, especially if it gets cursed. Obviously, Garden is amazing. Dynamite, do I want the Dynamite? Maybe I should have just taken attack speed in the last level up screen as well. I forgot when I was considering the attack speed that we have improved tools, so we would have gotten some structure speed as well. Dynamite is okay for this character, but nowhere near as good as you might think. I mean, we're spending 100 on a stat we already have, on 15 of a stat we already have almost 300 of. Now, our explosion damage is a little low for a Glutton build, so I am going to buy the Dynamite here, but I do think you can pass Dynamite more often than you would think on this character. And then the Penguin is great, obviously. Hoping with double fish hook we get something cursed in that shop. Alright, so at the end of this wave, I need to check the hunting trophy and see how many materials it made. It cost me, I think, 54 to buy, something like that anyways. So if it made less than about 100, then I shouldn't have picked it up. Pull all the enemies on top of each other, and again, we get an explosion that clears out a bunch of them. Have 1,000 materials this wave. Yeah, we'll take 20 luck, and then I'm going to reroll this. I'll just take 13 attack speed, and then I could take 16 dodge. That would take me up to 30 dodge. I think that is one of the best ways to increase my survivability. I could also take 12 crit chance just to try to kill the bosses faster or roll for attack speed. Let's just take the dodge here. So the hunting trophy has given me 65, so it really wasn't worth it. It did pay for itself, but just paying for itself is not enough. On the other hand, a cursed garden and a cursed penguin couldn't ask for better than that. The sad tomato, I'm actually not going to buy at this point, going into wave 20. I do like sad tomato a lot, but I think we can probably get something a little more impactful, and regen potion is significantly better, kind of the same thing, but just better. And I'll roll here. I do have padding, right? So I am losing money when I reroll. Oh no, cursed fruit basket. We'd have loved that. But we'll buy the bat. I think giving up 1 HP for 2 lifesteal is totally okay. And then we'll go into wave 20. So I want to get the debuff on the bosses, and then pick up some explosions. I am liking having the dodge, because it's letting me play even more aggressively here. I mistimed that, and I stepped on those consumables before the boss had charged in range. But we did get it there. And there we go. That's a win. So it took a false start. Unfortunate that I did have that loss there. That's the first time I've died in one of these runs in quite a while, I think, but this is a very difficult character. We dealt 415,000 damage with explosions there, and then only 6 items from Treasure Map despite having 140 luck, so Treasure Map did pretty badly, which is interesting. You would expect it to do really well in this run. Obviously, they were still good. We got 6 free items out of buying 2 treasure maps, but I was expecting more like 10. Loot Worm was worth 200 materials. The knot was excellent. As you can see, it didn't matter even slightly that we couldn't upgrade our weapons. This is what I'm talking about when I say that knot is just one of the best items in the game, and if you want to win runs, you should just buy it. We got to kill the elite because of it, so if we hadn't bought the knot, we wouldn't have this Kraken's Eye. We got to play way more aggressively in the mid-game, and also we didn't die. So very important to recognize that immediate power matters a lot, and way more than the, not even future power, but the option to increase your power in a very specific way in the future is what you give up by picking up knot, and that's a very worthy trade. Barnacle, we got 14 levels worth of stats, so a lot of stats off the Barnacle, so that was great. The landmines, yeah, they were predictably pretty bad. This item always underperforms, even when you have a lot of explosion damage. I mean, 26k is fine, but this is an explosion-focused character. We got 116,000 damage from Kraken's Eye, because we had a huge amount of explosion damage from that as well, so obviously the Kraken's Eye was amazing in this run. It dealt a quarter of the damage that our character dealt, which is great. Double Fruit Basket only dropped 53 extra fruits, which is surprising to me. 115 healing from Cute Monkey. We got like 2 items cursed from fish hooks. I think most of these were actually random curses, though the garden was great. Improved tools was nice, and the hunting trophy was a bit of a disappointment. Alright, my friends, hope you've enjoyed that run with the Glutton, and if you've been struggling with this character, this is one way you can do it. If not, I recommend trying either loots or trying shredders and then going for rocket launchers, trying to roll into nuclear launchers, things like that. Just play it like a normal gun build. Either of those options are okay, but this is certainly one of the ways to do it, and it's the most fun since it really uses the mechanics of the character. As always, my friends, if you've enjoyed the run, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.